if you have folks that are living at the, let's say, the lower income level or the poverty level, and they can't get jobs because they don't have hygiene, or they're not able to go to an interview because it's that time of the month for them and they don't have the products to support that, they're missing opportunities to gain good employment and in turn take care of themselves versus have others take care of them. So you provide that foundational component that allows them to show up, be present, and then go acquire work, get better jobs, and also be present for their employers.
Welcome to another episode of the Freight Forward podcast. I'm your host, Matt Dixon, and today we have Tony Zuazo. He's the interim CEO of the Community Resource Center here in Tennessee in the Nashville area. Tony, thanks for joining us on the podcast. And why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and about your company that you're running?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I'm glad to be here with you today. So I'm currently the interim CEO of the Community Resource Center. We provide essential items for Middle Tennessee's most vulnerable neighbors, both in disaster times and in times of ongoing need. So we are a vital link of product donors to nonprofit partners. We distribute critical hygiene products to individuals facing hygiene insecurity here in Middle Tennessee. We serve 7 counties throughout the Middle Tennessee area.
Very cool. Yeah, I wasn't really sure that that was a huge need here in this area. I know we've done some in the past with our church, building hygiene kits and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what is the Community Resource Center and who does it serve? You briefly touched on that, but maybe a
sure.
little bit more detail.
Yeah, and it's not just in the Nashville area, but it's across the country. And here in Nashville specifically, 2 in 5 neighbors can't afford basic hygiene needs, basic hygiene necessities. So a lot of times they're often having to make decisions on what they pay for, and typically housing, food, and those kinds of things come first, and then hygiene gets left behind. So our role at the Community Resource Center is we want to restore dignity, allowing those individuals to show up for their communities, feeling clean, confident, and cared for.
Yeah. So what does insecurity actually look like then? You mentioned a little bit about priorities. Obviously you got to have a roof over your head. So maybe toothpaste we can put on the back burner. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah. And how this shows up is, part of our constituent group we serve is schools. And so students missing school because they don't have deodorant or period products is a very common thing, especially in the urban core. Our neighbors skipping work because they don't have personal care or feminine hygiene products. Um, so for families that we serve, soap, toothpaste, shampoo, tampons, often the first thing they cut on tight budgets. But they are essential for health, employment, and dignity. And so that's what we're working towards every day with our school partners, our nonprofit partners. So we're quietly filling that gap to serve the needs and help people thrive and um, do the things that they should be able to do. And then also it helps them, move up through the spectrum.
And what do you mean by up through the spectrum?
Yeah. So if you have folks that are living at the, let's say, the lower income level or the poverty level, um, and they can't get jobs because they don't have hygiene, or they're not able to go to an interview because there is that time of the month for them and they don't have the products to support that, they're missing opportunities to gain good employment and in turn take care of themselves versus have others take care of them. So we provide that foundational component that allows them to show up, be present, and then go acquire work, get better jobs, and also be present for their employers.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, something we take for granted is not what everyone takes for granted. That's always good to see another perspective, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah. So you spent some time at Dollar General as the EVP of Global Supply Chain for 20,000 stores. That's quite a lot. So what made you step into running this nonprofit?
Yeah, so I've been on the board for 2 years of the organization, so kind of seeing it from a board perspective. The opportunity came up with the departure of the prior CEO. to have an interim, and I thought it was a great opportunity for me to help, and I had the availability to help. So I'm kind of filling in the gap. We've got the active search going on for the permanent CEO right now, but being on the board gave me good perspective of what the organization does every day, and I thought I could be a value add as we kind of bridge to the permanent CEO coming on board soon.
Mm, nice. I like that. Uh, so I've worked with a few nonprofits, and it's a different beast, right? It's still a company, and but there are some things that are different. It's just the way it is. So, what have you learned by running a nonprofit that operates like a supply chain?
Yeah, it's interesting because to your point, it is a different type of business. You typically don't have all the infrastructure capabilities you would have at a medium or even small corporation. So organizationally, folks are wearing many hats. Systems aren't always there, so you're doing a lot of manual processes to get things completed. And a lot of the core functions, I would say, are immature, as supply chain is an example, right? The, the organization is really focused around getting product into the facility, transforming it, and getting it out to constituents, partners in the community. And that is a heavy supply chain function from transportation to warehousing to what we call production, but it's transforming original packages into other packages. And so the most efficient way we can do that will help us move product quickly, but then also at the lowest cost possible so we can in turn serve more folks in the community. And we have hard constraints. Our hard constraint is how much money the organization has, and then how much in-kind donations we receive on the products we can distribute. So the community needs are great. We're not able to meet all of those needs, and we're heavily dependent on folks out there to help us from a donation perspective, and also in-kind donation, product donations that can help us grow and meet more of the needs in the community.
Yeah, you're almost like running a mini 3PL, right? You have pickers and you're shipping stuff, and even shipping might be handing it to someone in a vehicle for them to go distribute for the last mile. But
That's right.
what's work? Yeah, what's working right now, and what are you proud of?
Yeah, we've made some strides as far as shoring up our supply chain capabilities. We've secured a transportation partner that allows us to have nationwide access to product now, and be able to move product throughout the U.S. So a lot of times we're not getting most of our product doesn't come from the local area; it actually comes from out of state, and we're securing that, and then getting transportation to move it for us. And so having that partner on board that can give us a dedicated operation. And the concierge service for us is great because we're not a large organization. So having that large transportation provider is helping us move product. Getting the word out, just like podcasts, like what you have here, Matt. Um, Understanding the need. A lot of times hygiene is left behind. People understand the food insecurity need, and food gets a lot of traction and visibility, but we're trying to get the awareness out around hygiene and the opportunities there, and then getting more partner engagement to increase our product flow, getting more in-kind donations, and in turn, getting more financial donations to the organization so we can make a bigger impact in the community.
Yeah, impact. That's great. That's one of the things I think we all want to do, especially as we get older. Um, yeah, so that's what's working well. What eats up your time or your team's time, and what creates headaches for you guys?
You can imagine when you have a smaller organization and you're wearing multiple hats, you have to account for everything. Um, you know, Cybersecurity, you may not think we have to worry about that, but we're getting hacked or attempted to get hacked perpetually. So even the cyber criminals don't care that we're a nonprofit. They're still pursuing us as an opportunity. So we're dealing with those kinds of things, and everything from paying an insurance bill for workers' comp all the way through payroll and everything in between. So there's a lot of little things that in I took for granted at a larger organization because you have folks, you have a payroll department, you have accounts
Mhm.
payable departments, you have human resources departments. Well, We don't have those here. The CEO acts as many of those, and then we have our staff that acts as many of those also. So having to work on all those little things and make sure everything's operating just to keep the doors open, right? Let alone trying to secure more product through in-kind donations, and then talking to funders about what we do and how we do it, so we can secure their funding. It's there's a lot of hats being worn.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What I was doing some research and it says you've got 1.7 million products you distribute every year. Is that correct? From a 5,000 square foot facility with only 8 people. That
That's
seems like
correct. Yes.
a tremendous success. But what breaks first when demand spikes? How do you handle those demand fluctuations?
Sure. Yeah, we do control demand flow out. So our ability to get product in and redistribute, we will constrain how much our partners can order based on that. To that point, we do heavily depend on volunteer labor. So volunteer labor, we've got folks out in the warehouse today. They do pick, pack, ship. They do what we call manufacturing, which is taking master cases and repackaging them. And they do everything as it relates to some of the warehouse functions outside of the material handling items. So we heavily rely on volunteers to help with those swells if we can support it. But typically, our biggest constraint becomes, do we have enough product based on the needs? And then we'll end up constraining it. So what you typically see in the consumer packaged goods industries, or in that space where vendors put product on allocation, we sometimes have to do that if we don't have enough product to distribute. So we ensure that everybody gets some versus supporting a larger nonprofit. So we try to distribute when we have constraints.
Interesting. Yeah. So if you could snap your fingers and fix one thing, one operational problem, what would it be?
I don't know if we have an operational problem. I would say for what we do and how we do it, I think we have great processes. We spent considerable time and money last year putting in a new system, which now gives us a warehouse management system and an inventory management system and a order order portal through the web. So we fixed some of those kind of major things that we had in there, but I think the biggest opportunity for us is to get more in-kind product donations, and that'll help us meet more of the need that's out there. And so that would be my snap my finger solution is if I could get 12 large providers to send me a truckload a year, once, one truckload for the whole year, then I can get, a lot of my upcoming needs solved for, and I can meet a growing need that's out in the community.
Excellent. So what type of things are you looking for exactly?
Sure. So we have a core five products: that's bar soap, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush, and deodorant. And then we also support feminine hygiene through tampons and pads. So those are our seven key items that we focus on. We provide those in full size and also in travel size, depending on the situation. We provide them in bulk so they can get a case of deodorant, or we provide them in kits where we include all the five items into a kit. So that's some of the transformation that we do. But those seven items are what we try to focus on every day. We do support some other things that come through our facility, like home cleaning and so forth. But the seven are what we try to, make the most impact with.
Nice. So looking ahead 6 to 12 months, um, you're looking to grow so you can have a bigger impact. What would need to change for you to be able to grow?
Yeah, one of our biggest constraints is warehouse space. You mentioned kind of our facility. We're in a 5,000 square foot office and warehouse. So it's probably, yeah, 3-ish thousand square feet warehouse with, about 1,500-ish office space. And so we do need space. And so we are looking for space to help us grow and support that need. Also to be able to ensure that we're not turning away product. So we have the space to store it. And, in-kind donations just happen to show up, meaning that the opportunities show up. They're not consistent. And so we need to be prepared for that inconsistency and be able to kind of say yes to everything. And so that's probably the biggest need we're working on in the next 6 months is to secure additional warehouse space so we can store product. So anybody out there that's got opportunities, would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and then are you looking for someone to, like, give you, like, a nonprofit deal or something like that? Or how does that typically work when you're trying to get more warehouse space?
Sure. I mean, we know, the Nashville market, Matt, and we know it too. And the industrial space is expensive and not easy to find. So we understand we're prepared to pay for it. So obviously we're looking for help there though. If we can get some help, it'd be great. Because the whatever money we have to put towards the space, that's less money we have to go buy those 7 products. And I didn't mention this earlier, but about 60% of the product that we distribute at no cost to all of our partners, we have to buy. So 40% comes to us in kind and 60 we have to buy. And so if I've got to go secure warehouse space, then that number has to change.
Yeah. It's almost like if you get warehouse space to store the products, and then you can't buy as many products, so you don't need the warehouse space. It's kind of like a
Yeah,
tricky situation.
it is a tricky situation. And to your point, where some of that space we are buying on the come because we know we will have in kind. And because of the sporadic nature of it, we have to be prepared to not turn away a truckload of product
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that would be your top priority.
for
Um,
sure.
Excellent. So for freight and logistics companies listening, what's the most valuable ways they can plug into CRC's work?
Yeah, I mentioned the importance of in-kind donations for us. So, um, those organizations that are out there that have excess returned inventory. The beauty of what we do is we fully transform things. So, it doesn't really matter what shape it's in. It doesn't matter if the brown box is damaged. We'll take that apart. It doesn't matter if the consumer package is damaged. We typically take those apart, like in the case of tampons and pads. And so we have the ability to use some of the stuff that may not be retail ready, but we can transform it. So excess inventory, returned inventory, any of those, we're willing to work with those organizations, and we even go pick it up. So we have the ability to do that. I mentioned the storage, so that's a top of mind thing for us. Um, we do a lot of seasonal work, specifically around back to school and then winter readiness. So anybody who's interested in helping in that space, it's great. And, it's a great opportunity for those organizations to use their existing infrastructure to be a lifeline for our neighbors and then help meet the need that's out there in a space that is not government subsidized and fully taxed at retail based on sales tax. So, unlike food, there's subsidies associated with food. Hygiene is non subsidized, and none of those programs you can use for hygiene.
Mm, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Um, what else do you need me to ask? Is there anything else you want me to cover?
I think so. I feel like I've got all the stuff I wanted covered.
All right. So if people want to connect with you, where should they go? Where can they find you guys?
Sure. Our website is crcmidtn.org. So you can find us there. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on Facebook. You can reach out any of those means to connect with us. If you want to volunteer, if you want to support any of our initiatives, if you want to make donations, and you can connect with us through the website. And we're always willing and looking for help across all those avenues.
Excellent. And do you have any upcoming events, or you guys doing any events or anything like that to try to get volunteers or anything?
We do. Well, we have volunteers are regular, so you can find us on our website, or you can find us through Hands on Nashville, which is the volunteer network. We do have our upcoming gala in September. Tickets are on sale now. It is a casino night event with an auction. It's a great event, food and drink. It's a great event for a great cause, and it's always a fun time. And everybody likes the casino, loves the casino games. So that's also information for that event is also on our website. It's called All In for Hygiene.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. I sure appreciate you. And it seems like you're doing some really great work, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more. I'm going to kind of go check out your website a little bit more detail. And since we're local, maybe I can try to get up there and meet you sometime.
Yeah, I'd love that. Thanks for having us on, and I appreciate helping get the word out about the great things CRC is doing.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks again.